Hi and welcome to Marten's Customs Limited. I like making popular culture products, especially for games. So when I heard the Mortal Kombat 12 was coming out, I dropped everything I was doing. I was working on a mechanical robotic custom PS5, but I had to get to work. I wanted to get this out for when the game comes out. I think it's one of the coolest franchises ever. I like all art, so I like most franchises just for the art direction they go in. Mortal Kombat has to be the coolest. If you were going to take a kid from like the 1940s and go, hey, you want to see something cool? You're going to show them a fatality, aren't you? It is the coolest ever. And I love the art direction of the latest movie. And the game looks amazing. At the point of recording this, the Mortal Kombat 12 beta is actually out. But yeah, the concept for this was I wanted to bring the old school to the new school. So for the old school, I wanted the test your might. So I wanted it to be a guy smashing through the rocks, and then through that rocks is lava and the original 1995 dragon logo from the film. And then on the other side, I wanted it to be a bit more of the new logo, which I absolutely love, with my own spin on it, with Scorpion and Subzero in there, and then a little trick in there. If you guys want a chance to win one of these as well, at some point in this video, there's going to be a little bit of a riddle for the next franchise I'm working on. If you could answer that, you might get a chance to win one of these. So look out for that. Anyway, I should probably talk about what I'm doing. Making some molds, doing some rings. I've poured some clay to make that ring like it is. Have a look. So I melted down some clay and then poured it into the mould to give it that bubbled effect, and then the rest of it was using different techniques like melted clay and tools. So I bought a hot wire cutter, and I always thought if I have clay that's a little bit too thick, like this was, I could get in there with a hot wire cutter, cut out the sections that I need to cut out, something that a scalpel couldn't do the same way. But in the end, the edges, they were just weird. I mean, it makes a really cool effect. I'm sure I'll use it at some point, but I want this to be smooth, so I just started again with a thinner piece of clay. So now onto the dragon sculpture. I wanted it to be the 1995 original movie sculpture. The sandstone rock. If you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. If you haven't seen that film, what are you playing at? Like, go and watch it. It's hilarious. Anyway, so I starting with this. I just mapped out the edges. I know that looks like that's not going to work, but you just map it down. I've got a bit of a background in ZBrush, so I understand like levels and things. So I'm just smoothing it out. As things go on, I wanted to put some textures on it. So my method for this was I thought, what's texture that looks like rocks, right? So I went out with a piece of polymer clay. I put it on some rocks, and then I cooked it so that it was hard. And I thought, if I get this cooked thing and then I roll it over the dragon, it will leave rock-like marks and leave a bit of a texture. So when I dry brush it and I put in some, some washes and things, it'll work. It didn't work. Didn't work at all. It did nothing but just kind of damage it a little bit. Not even worthy of promoting. So I ended up hand doing everything, trying to get it as close to some of the edges and the dents that are in the actual original icon. Took a long time, but the end result was, I think, so much better than just having a general texture with a couple of dimples. As you can see here, when it gets painted, all of this shows up. The darks and the lights look so much better. So much better. So I'm glad I went through that. A lot of rubber was used in this project. I ended up using 5 molds I ended up doing. You'll see at the end of the video why, but I really wanted to keep this dragon intact because I had some plan for it, and it came out an absolute mess. So now we're on to the rocks. The way I make the rocks is I make the rocks using my special method, and then I test my own might, and I smash them with a hammer. And then I drill wherever they've been broken. I drill them in so that you can have space for the lava. It takes a really long time. Yeah, as far as this project goes, I love it. I think it's great. But I'm not going to make many of these, if I'm honest, because it takes me hours to stipple and wash and paint these rocks and make them realistic. Hours. And painting rocks as a full-time job is not really my forte. It's not what I'm into. So I probably won't be making many of these. But still, the end result is great. Here's a tip for artists out there. At the end of this, when I get to the dry brushing, when you're dry brushing something in nature, use your fingers. After you dry brushed it, just use your fingers to dampen it down. It makes a massive difference. If you want to stylize it, then don't. But if you want it to look realistic, just rub your fingers over the edges that you've dry brushed like that. It makes a massive, massive difference. Moving on to the sandstone dragon now, I've made some custom paint colours. I've primed it, and I'm using a very similar technique to what I use for the stones actually. So there's a few washes, there's a lot of stippling. I tried a lot of different variations of how to go about doing this to give it that sandstone effect. A lot of different variations, a lot of different colours. A few of the last ones that I did was when I found the variation that worked, I think, the best to give it the most realistic effect. It wasn't the one that was most like the 1995 logo, but I just felt like that just did not have enough contrast to it to really pop out as a real product, you know. Again, with the dry brushing, whenever you're dry brushing something like this, just use a little finger, just rub the edges. It just really dampens it down and makes it just that much more realistic. Riddle time. Whoever guesses the franchise this riddle is about, which is about my next video franchise, before my next video comes out, will be entered into a raffle, and the winner next year will get to pick anything from my store for free. So the riddle is, this describes the characters in this franchise. I'm big, I'm small, I'm late, I'm crazy, I'm part of a monarchy, and I'm an elusive feline. What franchise are those characters in? So the lava is made with UV resin, and I put pigments in it that are luminescent, and then I put some ash in it and I spread that around to give it this like real lava, real effect, because it's actually burnt ash and it moves in a way that you could not do with paint, and obviously you can't put it into UV resin. So this was the best way I could do it. I was thinking silicone at first, but in terms of like getting it to sit still with the way the plate moves, it was really difficult. It either came out lumpy or weird. So this is what I landed on. The concept for the panel 2 was a bit more simplistic. I wanted it to be a lot like the Mortal Kombat 12 cover, which is why I decided for the logo. A bit of texture to give it some pop. There's a little surprise in here as well, but you'll see that later on. I'm just using a variation of techniques to make textures. The roller came in handy on this one. I actually got to use the concrete roller that I made. I think it works really well. It's kind of like a blood, but it's not blood, it's just grey. And that's the end result. Cutting out and priming the logo there. Lastly is just spraying the dragon logo. I did do some tests with the original concept logo that's on the actual cover, but I have to have Subzero and Scorpion be a part of this. I was actually going to do a Subzero and Scorpion dedicated Mortal Kombat PlayStation 5 custom anyway, so they need to be a part of this. It's just got to happen. And then lastly, I just wanted to do the Mortal Kombat text at the top, so I made that with clay, made a mould of that, sprayed that, and then it's done. So get ready for the final result. Wait. Hold up. Did anyone else see that in the edit? What is that? That is not what I just made. That is 100% definitely not what I just made. I've been editing this video for ages. And that is not what... Zoom in on that, right? That is not what I just made. Oh yeah, that's right, I made a whole series. I made 3 versions of these. So guys, that is my Mortal Kombat 12 custom PS5 series. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're interested in buying one of these, they are going to be on my Etsy store, Marten Customs Limited. Just bear in mind that they're all unique. You know, they're one of a kind because I literally smash things with a hammer. I can't make 2 that are the same, so just keep that in mind that they're all going to be different. The standard versions are going for $350. The Black Ash version with just the straight dragon there, that's going for $300. They're completely customizable. You know, you'd be paying for my time to make it. So anything you want changed, any colors you want changed, I can do that, no problem. Just bear in mind, it doesn't work with the base of the PlayStation 5 because the rocks do extrude just a little bit. I couldn't get it to work with the base. I personally have never used the base on my PlayStation 5, but there you go. And if you want a chance to win one of these, answer the riddle. There's a part of this video. Answer the riddle there, and you might be entered into a raffle to win anything from my store. Lastly, guys, I'm not going to make a lot of these. I've made 3 already, and I've got a tick from just painting rocks for so long. So I'll probably only make like 20 of these a year. So just bear that in mind. But yeah, other than that, guys, thank you so much for watching the video. I really appreciate your time. And how do you end a YouTube video? What do you say? What does it say here? What YouTubers say? End a video. What do you... Oh yeah.